Welcome back to Half A Hot Rods. This week we're going to give you an update on the Longbed project, what Wyatt has gotten done on his own, kind of refer back to some of the other stuff we've done to it that we had in other videos, and show you where we're at now, get a couple more things done, and hopefully, fingers crossed, be legally driving it within the next couple of days. So let me show you where we're at. So if you don't remember, this truck had been sitting about 13 years. It's, I might have said the wrong year on a previous video. It's an 86 R10, which is same as a C10, but they changed the designator in early 80s. Since you last saw it, Wyatt's made some junkyard runs and gathered some parts, got himself a better seat, pulled out the tack that wasn't working. We rebuilt the Edelbrock carburetor. We have a separate video on that. Got it running good. So if you haven't seen that, go back and check that out. It's a little long, but it's a very good representation of the working conditions here in my shop and the chaos that ensues sometimes. He has also repositioned the mufflers to fit better. Been working on collector gaskets on the headers. Those aren't quite where we want them yet. Right now we're working on the gaskets at the head for the headers because they're leaking. A pretty common problem. We're going to do something a little different that I thought was crazy when I first heard of it to seal those up, but I've tried it a couple of times and it works really well. And I'm here to tell you that these guys, real actual header gaskets, these are pretty decent ones. We don't need those. We got this. That'll fix it. Honest. So we're working on getting them apart. He's got all but one bolt on this side, all but one on the other side.
All are off on that side.
Oh, you got them all on the other side. Okay. So the worst ones on these are the back ones because there's just not much room to get them. So we disconnected this one at the collector down low. You can see it kind of down in there. We get the angle just right. We've got to disconnect the collector on the other side. We'll get the header set on the head, positioned where we want it, tightened down. Then we'll move to the collector underneath, get that pipe positioned where we want it, tightened down. And then we'll get the hangers farther back on the pipe, positioned where we want them, and hang them up. So one of the things that Wyatt worked on, him and one of his buddies, that we're going to have to work on a little more is the exhaust hanger situation. And with the exhaust hangers, some of them they sell, most of them they sell with a rubber insulator. The reason they do that is because if you run a metal strap from, say, the body down around your pipe and connect it back to itself, you've got the metal on the pipe touching the metal on the hanger, touching the metal on the body. That means every bit of vibration that comes from the engine through the exhaust is being transferred metal to metal to metal directly to the body. What that amounts to is noise, vibration, something referred to as drone. It'll make your earballs vibrate, and it's unpleasant. So we may have to make some adjustments there and get some rubber insulation in between them. The other thing Wyatt did is he did like the $15 wheel upgrade we did on Betty White. Now, this is going to be a love it or hate it situation. In the parts truck video, you remember we ended up with some rally wheels. Well, between this truck and the parts truck we ended up having, we found 4 8-inch wide, 15-inch diameter GM rally wheels. And Wyatt and I agreed that we should do something different on this truck. So he did not paint them rally gray. We went with a copper. Still need to get some lug nuts. And I think once we come back and buff this paint a little bit, or maybe at least wash the 15 years worth of dirt off it. Yeah, we're at least going to wash it on Saturday. I think this is going to come around and those are going to look sharp. Him and I love it. My daughter hates it. I'm sure a lot of y'all are going to hate it. Some of you are going to love it. But you build these the way you want them. And I think that we haven't mentioned it before, but Wyatt's going to be the new owner of this truck. I'm going to trade him for his K5 Blazer. That's got a lot more rust than we thought it did, and that'll help him out a little bit and gives this truck a good home. He was given this roll bar for a Blazer, and I think we might be modifying it to fit this truck. What do you think? NASCAR. Got to have a roll bar if it's a race truck. It's purely for looks, and I just set it in there kind of goofing around, but it actually looks kind of cool, so we'll probably tinker on that and make it fit. This is probably going to get lowered a little bit all the way around. Okay.
We're going to start with the back once I clean all that stuff out.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of junk in the bed. We need to get that out, get all our tire pressures equal, take some measurements with a tape measure, and see where we're at. And then we can work on lowering it.
What's going on it next?
Huh? What's going on it next? That's not going to work. I mean, yeah, you can mount it there. It'll probably be just as effective as trying to bolt it to that 305. They went to a $20 a bucket sale at the local junkyard and came home with a turbo off a 6.5 diesel that probably isn't going to work for anything we have, but
Turbo's a turbo.
It's cool.
Air goes in, air comes out with power.
Yeah. It's not exactly how it works, but I don't know. Maybe we'll put it on the four-wheeler. Put it on the 700. I bet that would spool that turbo. And it would do silly, silly things.
Yeah, more than it already does.
All right, focus.
Gotta focus.
We got stuff we gotta get done tonight.
We got dinner we gotta get made.
Yeah. All right. So what we're gonna do now is finish getting these headers off, and then we're gonna get some new gasket material in there, get them tightened down, and that's probably all for tonight. And we'll come back to it, see what else we can tear up tomorrow or the next day. So follow along here. So we still need to get the collector off this side?
Yeah.
Okay. So will it move?
It's off now.
So get the old gasket out of there. And let's look at it and see if we can tell where it was leaking.
Right there.
That is probably where it was over a spark plug or a head bolt. But what you want to look for is around each of these ports is where the exhaust comes out, right? Nothing happens in between. So what you want to look for is black that goes from the middle, where the exhaust comes out, to the outside, like this guy. And this guy. And yep, because it's gonna, if it gets to that bolt hole, it's getting out. So that's where this side I think was leaking probably worse than the other side, just by the sound of it. Easy. What are you doing? So yeah, leaking out the top. These almost don't even look like they're the right gaskets, the way it clamped down on it and everything. So get a good look in there. Yeah. Make sure you don't have any big bumps or anything. Kind of feel along it.
On the header or on the block?
Yes. So the pipes are going to stick out of that header plate just a little, because I'm sure these are cheap headers, because 90% of them stuck on an old small block Chevy are cheap. And then we'll get the collector off the other side.
Feels good.
Okay. Everything's pretty clean.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do, and the first time I heard about this, I thought it was nuts. But what we are going to do is we're not putting a paper gasket on it. We're not putting a solid copper gasket on it. We're not putting an aluminum gasket on it. We're putting copper RTV on it, which, if you've never used it, is going to sound like I'm an idiot, and that's a terrible idea. And that's kind of what I thought the first time somebody told me to do that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He's like, no, I do it all the time. And I've done it on an LS motor with headers on it. I was on it for 3 years, 30,000 miles, and then some jackwagon crashed it into a tree. But it did not leak to that point. I did the same thing on a big block Chevy. I had no problems with leaks after doing that, so I'm going to keep doing it as long as it works.
And it matches the wheels.
Right, and then we've got color matched gaskets to go with the fancy wheels. So, the catch on this is you put it on there, get everything snugged down, wipe off the excess obviously if you don't want to be a slob, and then leave it alone. Leave it set up for 24 hours, which is a challenge for me because I always want to hear it. Make sure I don't have leaks, see how cool it sounds, all that stuff. You can't do it. Put this stuff on, get it all tightened down, and then leave it alone for 24 hours, let it set up really well, and then come back and check it. So if for some reason you don't get it sealed up good, it's going to be a longer process, but like I said, the two I've used it on worked really well. So that's what we're going to do.
I'm going to have to take this bracket off.
Which bracket?
To get that header off.
That AC bracket? Mm-hmm. Is it...
It's bolted from the back side right here.
Yeah, there's a spacer.
There's no bolt through right here, and there's a spacer.
Will that spacer just push out of there? You might be able to just take that loose and then that spacer will drop out enough because we don't need a ton of room. So this is the fun part, is because there's not really a lot of room for what we want to try and do.
I can't tell you how excited some of my friends are to see this on Friday.
Yeah?
Like there's one kid who's new this year. He drives an OBS pickup with full straight earth. The cats are gutted. He's got Flowmasters, and he's got like an 8-inch tip. Maybe not that big, but it's a pretty big tip, and it sounds good.
Yeah.
Steady cab. I think it's a long bed.
Guess good is relative. Or a matter of opinion. What sounds good to him might not sound good to me, but it don't matter because it's not my truck.
I know what you like and you think it sounds good.
Oh.
I was like in the same spot. Center.
Okay. So we'll try to be real careful and make sure we get plenty of goop in there. Because the nice thing about this is, you know, that the metal gaskets or the paper gaskets can only squish so much to take out inconsistencies. And the cheaper the header is, the more likely it is there's going to be inconsistencies. And it's just not going to fit as tight as it should. So
You know, sometimes I can't tell if you're talking to the camera or me.
I'm talking to both.
Well, because I'll be looking at Engine Bay and you're talking, and then a couple seconds in, I'm like, oh, I think that's meant for me.
If I'm talking, you should
Smile
be
and
listening.
wave, boys. Smile and wave.
If I'm talking, you should be listening. Because if I'm talking, you know it's important.
Yeah.
No, I said important.
What I say is important. Like my ling long tire.
All right. All right, Dan.
Alright, Dan. What do you want to eat?
Should we goop this side up and get it stuck and then get onto the collector on the other side? Or do you want to get the collector while I'm gooping this side?
I can. Where are your 962 brackets? Right?
I gave everything to you. So really, the only place we need to worry about is around the ports. Right? Because that's where it should mate up and
That's
seal
where
up.
Boom Boom goes bow.
Sure. So if we go around these guys, we should be todo bueno. And this bad spot was the top on both sides, right?
Yeah. Muy bien.
No, muy malo.
What's mallow?
Bad.
Marshmallow?
No, marshmallows are good.
How is marshmallow in Spanish?
I don't know.
Got awfully quiet.
Constipating.
You're constipated?
Constipating. Concentrating. One of those.
Aren't you supposed to wear gloves when you handle stuff like that?
I don't know, maybe if you're a bitch.
Hey, family friendly.
Oh. Maybe if you're
Biatch.
a sissy.
Oh. Even better. Oh.
I don't know about you, but this stuff is kind of like anti-seize when I use it. It ends up everywhere.
I've never had to use anti-seize. I always use Loctite.
Go get me a paper towel.
If Loctite makes it stick, oh, I just rolled that magnet in the bolts.
Idiot.
What do you need?
Paper towel. Ooh. This looks like it needs spark plug wires too.
No kidding?
Yeah, it looks like something's been chewing on them.
Oh, I'll just wait until a couple months whenever it starts running like crap. And then I'll rest them up against the headers and have to do it all again.
And you can do it twice.
I mean, hey, boo boo.
Indeed.
Hey, Dad. Why do people in Africa ride bicycles?
Why?
Because they're mad at gas cars.
That's terrible.
Do you get it?
I get it. It's just not. It's not good.
You laughed.
It's because sometimes, if you don't laugh, you want to cry. This would be easier if there was more room.
Did you hear about the time the pirate made his son walk the plank because there was no dog on board? It's because he couldn't walk the dog.
Yeah, I got that one too. Just wasn't funny still.
Bing bong. You have a TikTok account now. You should be fluent in the modern English language.
The modern English language?
Yeah.
Is the modern English language nonsense?
Pretty much.
What do you think? We got good coverage on all those all the way around?
Hey man, you know one who knows what you're doing. Or I trust you to anyway. Hey, why don't you put 2 of these bolts in and then... Hey buddy, yeah.
I think we look like we're kind of okay-ish.
I mean, hey,
So,
can I get a hook booger?
now comes the fun part. We try to stab this without... So give me
2 bolts.
at least one.
At least one. There's one.
None of them were different, right, when you pulled it apart?
No. There was only one different one, and that's the one that went through the AC bracket.
Okay.
Because it had a butching.
Right.
Butching. Push.
Okay. Now give me another one.
There you go.
My back does not like this. All right.
Impact time. Yeah?
Negative, Strider.
I hear shots. What kind of shots are they?
Is that another weird internet reference that I don't get?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't get it.
You are just full of unwanted wisdom, aren't you?
Who says it's unwanted?
Me?
Just because you don't want my wisdom doesn't mean it's not good wisdom.
There's a fair chance that's exactly what it means.
Yeah.
So we got them all started without making a huge mess.
Now I go through and torquelate them down.
Now we're just going to snug them down a little bit at a time. Bring it in nice and even like. Alright. This one's going to be harder because there's less room. Great! Somebody put a dipstick in the way. Somebody put a master cylinder in the way. And you checked all this and made sure it's clean and there's no big burrs or anything?
As far back as I could reach.
What do you mean by that?
I couldn't reach all the way back.
I don't want excuses, I want results. How come there's mouse poop in here?
I don't know. You know what I've been realizing since we've had the hood open? It's not in performance mode.
Yeah,
That's gotta change.
we gotta flip that air cleaner later. She's just not gonna go.
Gotta let this 305 breathe and let out all 180 horsepowers.
Give her all the ponies. Look at that nice clean air cleaner filter.
Adds power.
Hey, I got a chrome one on my Blazer, I'll sell you.
You're a funny guy.
Yeah, $75. And I'll need the old one.
You are high. You're higher than giraffe nuts.
Easy.
That's just not cool. See, before we finalize the trade, I got a couple of things I need to take off the Blazer.
No, that's not how that works at all. Go across all of them evenly. Don't tighten any one spot down, because we want it to settle in where it wants to be, not force it into a wanky position. So when you feel it get snug, move to the next one. When you feel that one get snug, move to the next one. And then come back around and start again.
I wish you would have told me that a little earlier.
You got one that you already cranked?
Not cranked, but I was kind of like, I put them all in as finger tight as I could get them.
Yeah, you'll be fine. It's not my problem.
You know what would have been real funny?
Huh.
Wait until you're editing this video to find out. Think it'll have a little less sound in the engine bay here when we fix this?
Yes.
You have anything taller I can stand on?
You mean like grown-up legs?
If I ever told you that you were the most funniest person in the world.
No, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Alright. They're all torqued to about 3.29 Ogadogas. Had some metric to standard conversion though.
I feel like you're just making things up now.
I know what I'm talking about.
I'm sure that's not true.
Tell you what, if any of your viewers don't know what they're talking about, they're going to think I'm a genius.
I don't know. I think even people that don't know anything are going to know that you're not a genius. This side is, I have some concern because I can't see it as well as I'm putting this on. Kind of getting it by feel. And
Good enough for who it's for, right?
hoping that we get it, hoping that it's good enough.
I got the wrench out here.
Give me that wrench. Before I break both your legs.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. You want a shot at the title?
Nah. I'd rather have dinner first. Take a shot at the title for dessert.
Last meal.
That was clever.
That's me. I'm a clever feller.
You're a fart smeller, ain't you?
Yeah, every time I'm around you. Alright, now get under there and fix the collector gaskets.
I don't know how to do that. I thought I fixed them the first time, but apparently not.
Good, fix a ham sandwich. Let me look at those. I wonder if we should do a little silicone on those too.
Well, I tried last time, but it made me bad, so I just soused them together. Hey, where's the 916 track wrench?
I don't know. Where'd you put it?
Whoa, poquito bueno, I don't know. There it is. It's on the ground. Why is it on the ground?
Right where you left it.
I was using it under there.
Yeah. Let's have a look at our pipe alignment. Oh yeah, she was blowing all over the place. What? Why is there oil?
Oh, because I was impatient getting the oil filter off and dumped it upside down on the headers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes them smell good too.
Oh, yeah.
I think we will put a little silicone on it. So let's, we're going to clean the oil and stuff off this, and then we'll come back to it.
Are we going to put some silicone on the other side?
Yeah, I think we'll
Since it started disconnected.
goop them both up so they look like they're close. Goop them both up if they look like they're...
No, we're not going to use the impact. I'm sweating from my eyes.
Why would your eyes sweat?
I don't know. Cleaned off my hands with brake cleaner last night and I had a cut on my finger.
How'd that feel? Like a bad decision?
Like brake cleaner in a cut. Which way are those supposed to go? Because you weren't real sure last time and I just kind of guessed.
Well, I wasn't here the last time, to be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
Yeah, I'm not sure it matters. It probably does, but I'm not sure I know the answer.
Let's just put it in the way that you thought it should go in and call
That's what we're going to do. We're going to guess and hope for the best. Copper silicone on the collectors I haven't done before.
That's a new idea for me.
You want to try and pull that? Yeah. Just get it tight as you can because angle's going to limit your strength, so go ahead and give it all the beans.
That was all beans.
Okay, hold the the other wrench. I got a better angle. Make sure it's.
I gave her the beans, now you're giving her the pork. That sounds wrong.
Yeah, we'll stop there.
It was
I think
a
we're about
reference.
half a turn away from twisting it off, so.
See, now I know what you were talking about earlier. I really want to hear it. I want to hear it sing.
This is the worst part, is not being able to monkey with it. Just finish up and walk away. I hope it don't sound like that.
Kind of hope it does.
Nope. Everything is gooped up and tightened up. We're going to let her sit overnight. Well, we're going to let it sit 24 hours.
So till tomorrow about the same
Yeah,
time?
tomorrow about this time we'll come out here and fire it up and see if it doesn't sound a little better.
Fire it up and take it for a drive.
Maybe take it for a drive. Maybe we'll be driving it legally. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Okay, so I can't lie to you. It's not the next day. It's 2 days later. Because the next day we came out here and did this like I said we were gonna. And then I saved the video to the wrong folder. Or it didn't go to any folder and I didn't catch it before I deleted it from the original location. So the point is I'm technologically challenged. So we're doing this again. The result should be the same. So here's what we got. Got Wyatt's Longbed race truck. She is nice and quiet under the hood. Nice and quiet. Even though it's got a little Flowmaster rumble. It's actually got it worse than normal drone because he's still got those metal straps holding his exhaust up, but we'll fix that later. That's it for this episode with this one. It's we figured out that when they loaded this to bring it to us, they loaded it with a tractor with forks and decided to stick one under the drive line and bent the snot out of it. So now we're on the search for a drive line, but it runs and rides pretty decent, except for the vibration from the drive line. So Wyatt's going to track one of them down, and we'll get back on this. We'll do some other stuff with it. Maybe wash it, buff it, try and make it look good. Check us out on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and remember, if we can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.